what? I wrote another book. I don't have an author copy, but we're gonna use the proof copy and just pretend this banner isn't here because it's finally live. So yeah, I wrote another book. This is my 9th book total. It is my 4th Witchcraft book, and yeah, it is just an homage to my pagan portals because it's so small. But listen, it is what it is. I didn't feel like fluffing it out for the sake of fluffing it out. This is just how much I had to say about the moon. It's pretty simple, kind of small, and so yeah, it's here, it's ready. I am only doing a paperback, so this version or an ebook, because it's so small. I just don't feel like it's gonna be like worth the while to do another version for a hardback, because again, it's teeny tiny. So we're sticking with this size. So this is the 3rd and final book in my witchcraft training series. So this is the finale of it. So it makes sense that it's the smallest, that they start big and progressively get smaller. It's just the way it goes. So it ended up the opposite with my first fiction series, so it feels great to have that happen, because my last book in that series was like bam, and then this is like me. So yeah, this is the 3rd and final book in the witchcraft training series. So the first book goes over your basics, you know, tools, the associations, what is a witch, all that jazz. The second book, which still hasn't sold like at all, so that's been awesome. And I don't know if it's like, is it because it's the second book in a series? Do people just not like it? I don't know. But that one, Turning the Wheel, that is my take on the Wheel of the Year. Who knows, maybe people hate that. Maybe they wanted it to be traditional, but you know what? Somebody will love my chaos. I'm just waiting for you. And then this is my take on the moons. So it's becoming more popular nowadays, but when I was first a witch, it was not heard of, and that is to celebrate all 8 phases of the moon rather than just 3 with an asterisk, because it's an ish, because technically it's 4, but nobody talks about that, because it's like waxing, full, waning, but then also most of the time there's also the new. And so yeah, anyways, I guess unless you count like where they smoosh together at the new moon, just as like it's the waning, and then when it starts it's the waxing. I don't know, but usually it includes those 4, but they'd say it's the triple. Anyways, so yeah, this is my take on the 8, because I felt like that was the good kind of conclusion. So the first one walks you through how to start doing ritual and stuff. The next one talks about how to celebrate the seasons. You start getting into a bit more ritual. And then this is more spell work. And so it spells for each of the 8 of the cycles of the moon, the different phases. And so each one has a magical focus. There's like a magical theme, spell suggestions, and then a ritual included for each one. So like, you know, for the waxing crescent, do this. For the waning gibbous, do that. And it's just got a ritual for each one, and it gives you an idea of some stuff to do, and that's it. And then you're at the end of what I would train you as a witch. And then from here on out, I'm probably just doing mostly standalones. I have a few witchy series that I might do eventually. I don't know when that eventually is going to happen because I still am heavy into research for years. But eventually I would like to do a book on like the tarot. That's why I've been reading so many of those books, but like I gotta get better at that before I tackle that. And you know, eventually like I could do the zodiacs or something. Like there's so much stuff in witchcraft that you could do, honestly. But yeah, this is it for my witchcraft training, and from here on out it will just be kind of contained, like the Death Journey book, where it's just on the topic. That's how they're going to be going forward. I've got different ideas for those. You know, like I want to do like a budget witch kind of thing. I was going to call it the broke witch, and then that's already taken, so it was like, damn. So I'm thinking budget witch, but I haven't checked to see if the title's available, so I gotta do that. But, and then like I want to do like a witchy wedding book, and I've got a lot, and I've got one that I'm researching. I don't know what I'm gonna publish. It'll probably be within the next 20 years. That's as much as I got for you. Is the next 20 years I'll probably post it. But until such time, I'm just slow gathering info for it. But I have so many many ones to do. And so yeah, I'm glad to have this series done, and then I hope that maybe you'll buy my book. The audiobook will be going up hopefully this week. I'm thinking probably the weekend is when it's gonna hit, so Patreon peeps, keep an eye out for that. Because I initially was gonna aim for when I usually will post, which is Thursdays, but no. Maybe it'll happen, but bank on like Friday, Saturday, somewhere in that ballpark. Just cause life be crazy, cause I'm also writing my next one already. So once I was done with this and it moved into editing, I started on my next book. I've been talking about it on my author channel, which if you want to follow for like my writing life, it's over there, full-time books. And of course you can always find it on my blog. One day it will be a website. I just don't know when I want it to start renewing. At this point I have the money, I just gotta decide when I want it to renew, because I kind of feel like right before tax season might not be the greatest time to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that. Like maybe we wait till after tax time. Like, it's not a big deal now, and maybe it won't be in the future, but I feel like the beginning of the year is just like not an ideal time to be like, oh yeah, your website's due, because it doesn't pull monthly, it pulls yearly, which is obnoxious. I would like a monthly, I can do that, but no, it's gotta be yearly, so it's like, damn. So anyways, one day this year, I'm gonna make it into a website, but for now, it's still a blog, it's fine. But yeah, so if you wanna find all of my stuff, it's there. But yeah, so this is going to have an audiobook, paperback, and I am starting on my next one. Now, my next book is not going to be a witchy book. I debated on it a lot of like, do I try and publish like to a new extreme outside of the already extreme of publishing monthly, and to try and aim for like 18 books this year? And then even I was like, maybe that is absolutely insane. Let's maybe not do that, because I could if I didn't do anything else. But I also upload every day here, every other day on my other channel, and I do content for Patreon, and so like trying to write 2 books simultaneously was just like, you know what, maybe that's just like a little too much on the plate of a day. There's just so much. Plus still like spending at least a couple minutes with my husband and my mom and my family. So yeah, that's not realistic. So I decided to just back down and do the initial plan, which was to switch between nonfiction, so my witchcraft books, and fiction. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And so I am starting on my next book. I have 1 chapter done. I'm working on the others. It's gonna be 45 chapters. 75,000 words is the goal, which is something I learned from this book. This sucked. I didn't set my word count requirement, and I kind of kept my word count goal for the chapters-ish, and that's why it's so small. And I can't fix it retroactively, because then I just end up writing a whole new book, and then it's like, why, it's more work than just starting over, and I didn't want to, felt like it was fine. So it's a tiny book. But my next one, I'm sticking with the genre requirements, which honestly, witchcraft books are just kind of like whatever. We've got small books, we've got big books, we've got just a little bit of everything, so it doesn't matter as much. My new goal, I think, is going to be like 40 to 50,000 words for my witchcraft books, or at least a page count requirement, because I don't really want it to be super small. But, you know, whatever. Live and learn, right? But for my fiction, I am planning my next one to be the genre requirement, which it's not really a requirement, but it's like a guideline, you know, of like, hey, everyone does about this amount. So I'm aiming for 75,000 words, and that means at least each chapter's got to have the traditional, the NaNoWriMo time of 1,667 words. But I am not doing NaNoWriMo because it is, first of all, I don't love their stance on AI, and secondly, I don't love that it's only 30. I'm going for 45. So yeah, it's a 45 chapter book at roughly 1,667 words minimum per chapter. So it's going to end up, doing the math, about 75,000 words. And that's a lot. That means if you're doing mathy math, basically, my goal is to write about 5,000 words a day. So that's a lot to do, but it's fine. I'll get there. And yeah, so I definitely cannot do that and be trying to write a witchcraft book at the same time. So I'm hoping my mystery series does pretty good as well, because it is a very popular genre. I think it's going to be fun. That one's going to be about a vampire case thing, because mystery, obviously, got a mystery. So there's going to be a vampire who's killed, and my sorceress is going to be trying to solve the crime with a werewolf and another vampire. Because, you know what, it's fine. And also a dark magic user. Sorcerer dude. So yeah, it sounds terrible. I'm not good at remembering my elevator pitch. I just remember my key things. So if you want to actually hear about it, I talk about it better on my author channel when I actually read my little blob about it. But I also can't like confirm like this is what it's gonna be, because I don't know. I have like maybe 2,000 words into it so far out of 75,000. So like it's gonna be a minute till I know for sure. But yeah, so I'm excited to be working on that going forward. But for now, you can buy my latest Witchcraft book. One of my goals for this year is to do rapid release publishing, which basically means to a traditionally published author, absolute total chaos. But to indie authors, this is kind of the only way that you make money. Unless you can like be one of those people that's like super duper loved and you're very aesthetically pleasing and people just love your face and you just have a huge audience already, you gotta do rapid release. That's kind of the only way to really do it. Or you can pay Amazon to actually promote the book that they're hosting. But I don't wanna. I tried that, it didn't do anything. I was just out like 50 bucks and it was like, you know what, this was super not worth it. And I cut it off because it's like, you know what, no. This is my marketing. I tell my audience and then maybe they support my life and then I go about my day. And so like, yeah, for the most part, indie authors, the best way to do it is rapid release, where you're publishing on a very consistent, rapid pace. So instead of traditional publishing where you publish maybe 1 or 2 a year and listening to them complain about it and you're like, wow, that's so great for you. I treat writing like I treat all of this like a real job. So I work close to like 10 hours a day at least. And so it's between reading books, recording, editing, writing, editing books. It's a lot of work, but one day it's gonna just go whoop, and then it's just smooth sailing. I can pay off debt. I can save money. I can even start to claim taxes. That is the goal. So I would love to be able to file taxes doing this. I haven't been able to for the past 2 years doing this. I'm hoping this year's gonna be the one. But yeah, so anyways, I definitely think rapid release works best, and especially like you have to do it very, very consistently. Like you can't just be like a couple times a year. That's not enough. Like most rapid release authors are like monthly, and you just kind of gotta plan that. And like some even go down to like the day. They're like, this is the day of the month I publish a book. I can't do that. I can't guarantee it, but I can certainly aim. Like this time it worked out. I wanted it to be out on the 13th. I didn't know if that was possible because I ordered my proof copy like way close timeline, but also it's so small, so it was like, that was easy. And I want to always have the audiobook recorded in advance before, because that's like my final bit. Because like reading it out loud, really you catch so many mistakes where you're like, whoa, that was a stupid sentence. Why? Because you hear it differently when you say it out loud. So yeah, anyways, I am excited to have this one out and to be working on my next one. And then my next Witchy book will be coming out in, what's the next month? March. I will have a book coming out. That's a short month. Damn. February's gonna suck. It's like just like a, oh, that'll be fun. You miss a few days of the month. It's fine. Anyways, so yeah, I wrote another book. I would love for you to support me if you want to listen to the audiobook. Like I said, it'll be coming out this weekend. I'm editing it right now, but I also have to do other stuff in the day. So instead of dedicating a whole day to that, I figured I would talk to you today because I ran out of content. That's why my video's up so late today. Currently, it's like 11:40, and I usually try and have these videos out every day at about 7:30 in the morning, my time in Utah. And nope. Here we are, it's almost noon. It's gonna be afternoon by the time I probably get this edited, so yeah. But I would like to get ahead one of these days so that I can just like blop this into the mass. You know, when I talked about that last year, I wanted to get ahead and it just didn't happen. So anyways, that's enough rambling. Basically, if you would like to listen to my book, it'll be out this weekend. If you want to buy my book, it's now available. You can listen to it on Patreon. You can buy it through Amazon. I did not get brave enough to go through the chaos of trying to sign up through Barnes & Noble. I know a lot of people hate Amazon. Can you just remember it's also the best site for authors, for indie authors? It's the best one. I know people have issue with Amazon. They treat us the best out of them all. Just remember that. As much as we don't love Amazon, we love Amazon for indie authors, okay? Because the other companies, you, the author, get screwed. I think Barnes & Noble is like the next second best option, but I just don't want to have to, because you have to redo everything. You have to redo the cover, the inner measurements and stuff, and it's just a pain in the butt, and I don't have the money to pay someone to do that. So I have to do it, and it's just a pain. And then you have to wait and make sure those turn out right, and it really complicates things, and Amazon's just so easy, and they pay so good. Comparatively, the authors don't make a lot of money. You have to sell a lot. That's why I'm doing rapid release, so you get a big back catalog and you don't bank on one selling a lot. You bank on selling a lot of a couple. Here and there, here and there, here and there. And then if you have a whole bunch of those, you can pay your bills. So anyways, my camera's gonna overheat. I have rambled endlessly, so thank you. Please buy my book. Thank you to my patrons. Like I said, videos coming. So if you want to support me on Patreon, just because you love me, it's patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. And until next time, blessed be.